Also Uncommon Fossil, and they're taking a look that leans into Pokestop really, really big time. If Pokestop, I'll hit that first, since that is kind of what this deck is centering around. It's a stadium card. I play 4 copies, and once during each player's turn, that player may discard the top 3 cards of their deck. If a player discarded any item cards, this way they put those item cards into their hand. So you discard top 3 cards, items go back into your hand. So it's a great way to get items, and it's a great way to get Pokemon energies, supporters, stadiums, tools in the discard pile, which may or may not be a good thing. So we'll get into what we're doing to try to take advantage of the plus and mitigate the downside to it. But look, Pokestop's seeing a lot of play for sure. This really just it's all in on that strategy. Okay, so Roaring Moon EX, that's the attacker it's paired with. It's got some good items to make it work, so that's why Pokestop fits nicely with it. Roaring Moon EX, a 230 HP ancient Pokemon, 2 very good attacks, Frenzy, Gouging. Both attacks, the cat cost is dark, colorless, Frenzy, Gouging. You knock out your opponent's active Pokemon. It doesn't matter what their HP is or anything, just blows them up. Super nice. You do put 200 damage on yourself. So assuming you had full HP, you're down to 30. If you had 30 more damage counters on you already, you are knocked out. But even then, sometimes you're willing to knock yourself out depending what it is you're hitting into, right? But that's a huge threat to one-shot any Pokemon in the game. And the other attack, Calamity Storm, there's 100 plus 120 more if you discard a stadium that's in play. Obviously, stadium has to be in play to do that. Then you discard the stadium, and of course, we do need Pokestop, so obviously you got to think through the next turn what's going to happen going forward. And of course, we are discarding hard early on, and if we discard stadiums, which we probably are, we're not going to be able to play all 4 stadiums over the course of the game, so that's something to keep in mind. But Roaring Moon, with those 2 attacks, is a big threat. What else we play? We play the single prize Morpeko with its In a Hungry Hurry ability. If it has no energy attached, it has no retreat cost, so it's a nice pivot card, which is good. We need that. And it has an attack that we will use as well. Energizer Wheel for 2 dark does 70, and you move 2 dark energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon, which means if it's not knocked out, you have free retreat. And if you are knocked out, well, the energy is on your attacker for next turn. So that actually works out pretty well. So it's an attacker that we will make use of in some games. There is a third dark Pokemon, and that's a 1/1 line of Darkrai VSTAR. If like the VSTAR is prized, well, that's unfortunate. But it's here for, first and foremost, the Star Abyss ability. It's a V-Star power, so you can do it once over the course of your game. You put 2 items from the discard pile into your hand, and as you know, with Pokestop, we're built around these items, so it's just another way to get these items into hand after we've played them. And we will attack with it. Dark Pulse does for 2 colorless, but we just play Dark Energy. Does 30 damage plus 30 more for each Dark Energy attached to all your Pokemon. So this is the tankiest Pokemon in the deck. And as we flood the board with Dark Energy, which we do want to do, the damage ramps up. We have 9 energy, so 9 times 3, 270 is where it's topping out at. So it's not doing huge damage, but it is a nice threat. And then what else do we have to set up? 1 Lumineon V. For Luminous Science, we can't attack with because we don't play Water Energy, but search your deck for a supporter, put it into hand. So Professor Sada's Vitality is really important. We'll get to that in the trainer section. And 1 Radiant Greninja. Of course, you can only play 1 copy of this anyway as a Radiant, but concealed cards ability, you discard an energy card from your hand, and you draw 2 cards. We need energies in the discard. We need to draw. It's just a natural synergistic card with this deck. And then Squawkabilly EX, we really need to get things set up turn 1. So Squawk and Seize. Partly this is a Battle VIP Pass deck as well. And, if you miss Battle VIP Pass, you're in a ton of trouble too. Pokestop and all helps with that. So Squawk and Seize, it's an option on turn 1 that's very important. You discard your hand and draw 6 cards. As I said, 9 basic Dark Energy. That's all we play, basic Dark. That's all we want in this deck, as you'll see with what we have going on in the trainers. All right, so hitting the trainers, leaning into the items, this will say, I'll hit the supporters first. And it's just they're the only non-items behind the stadiums. No tools in this deck. Could put in tools, but haven't done that. Professor Sada's Vitality is the key supporter in this deck. You choose up, it's an ancient card, you choose up to 2 of your ancient Pokemon, attach a basic energy from the discard pile to each of them, and then you draw 3 cards, as long as you accelerate at least 1 energy. So, obviously, accelerating energy is really good. Melanie's a good card, accelerates 1 water, draws 3. This is any type of energy, only to ancient, so similar, but actually accelerates 2 energy, 1 to 2 different Pokemon. So very, very nice card. We do have a way to get it out of the discard pile with an item. We'll get to that shortly. And then play 1 Boss's Order, 1 Iono. You know, when we play it, we will see if and when the time comes right. But for Sadas, that's the key one. Okay, getting to the items. We play 4 Trekking Shoes. Look at the top card of your deck. You put it in your hand. If not, or you can choose to discard it and draw the next card. Get some energy in the discard. Draw into that supporter we need, whatever. It's an item card, helps us dig through the deck, helps us to get to the cards we need. So it works well in a item built based deck like this. 2 Switch Carts. Could replace a Switch Cart with a Switch. Just Darkrai V-Stars are only evolution, so Switch Cart should be enough for the game. You switch your benched, your active basic Pokemon to the bench with one of your bench Pokemon, and if you do that, you heal 30 from the Pokemon that move to the bench, so that is useful. A way to get some more HP onto our Raimuni X if we just did 200 damage to ourselves. That's part of it. Only 1 Nest Ball. Maybe we just drop it altogether. There's lists I see that don't play it at all, obviously, because they lean into Battle VIP Pass, right? We have 4 Battle VIP Pass. We need 1. We probably need 2 our first turn. So with Squawkabilly, Pokestop, we're digging decently through the deck, so we've got to get this and play it. You can only do it your first turn, either first if you go first or second, and then you put 2 basic Pokemon from your deck onto your bench. So really good setting up. 1 Nest Ball basic onto the bench can be, of course, any turn of the course of the game. We have 1 Super Rod because those Pokemon and energies are getting discarded. We really want the energy in the discard, but the Pokemon we definitely need to get back into the deck at times. So shuffle any combination up to 3 of Pokemon and or basic energy from discard pile into the deck. We don't want, Lost Vacuum is a nice card, gives us some flexibility. You Lost Zone 1 card when we play it, and then you choose any tool or stadium that's in play and put it in the Lost Zone, so it can get us out of an awkward spot. With that, for Dark Patch, this is one of the items that makes this deck go, which is why we're playing Pokestop. You attach a basic Dark Energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Dark Pokemon, so really good. We have 4 of them. This is often a card we want to recover with the Darkrai VSTAR, although not always. 3 Ultra Ball. You could maybe replace add a 4th and drop the Nest Ball, depending, right? It lets us, we discard 2, but in this case we want to discard some energies to accelerate them back onto our cards because we have supporters that do that and items. So, but Ultra Ball, it's the only way to access the Darkrai VSTAR and just helps draw some Pokemon over the course of the game. We do play 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball just to get us a basic from our prize cards into our hands, so that's very useful there. Play 3 Earthen Vessel, really good, an ancient card where you discard a card from hand, again, often a basic energy if we have it, and you search your deck for 2 basic energies, put them into hand, so really good, very important card, so 3 copies there. And then 4 copies of Cross Switcher. It acts like Guzma from Expanded. You have to play 2, though. It's an item, so you play 2 at a time, and you switch your opponent's bench with the active, and then you switch your active with one of your bench, so a double switch there of your choosing. Very, very powerful card. And then 4 Crossceivers. This is the card that's a little dicey, spicy maybe. It's what makes this deck intriguing and why I want to give it a go. It's a card I haven't played yet, I don't believe, because it's very questionable, but this is part of leaning into Pokestop all the way. Again, you play 2 at a time, just like Cross Switch, but with this one, you put a Pokemon or a supporter from the discard pile into your hand. So partly could be a Pokemon at times, but I really see it's here to get that Professor Sada's Vitality, because that's so important. These cards, supporters, do end up in the discard pile with Pokestop and such, so we need to recover them at some point in the game to play them. So Crossceiver is there to do it. Will we get enough value out of Crossceiver to justify 4 deck slots? That's a big question. I will probably pull off 1 per game, I suspect, and that may be enough to justify it, because that extra Professor Sada's Vitality or whichever other supporter it may be, Boss or Iono, may be just what we need to swing the game. So I'm looking forward to trying out this deck. Let's take a look on the ladder and see what the deck does. All right, hopefully get a good game here to show things off. Wada gets a 1 or 2 Battle VIP passes turn 1. We'll go second if we get the choice. Right, because the idea is we can attack turn 1, whereas a lot of decks can't. So our opponent won the coin toss, though, so they choose. There's a good chance they choose to go first. Look, there are a lot. We're not the only deck that wants to go second, but still most decks want to go first. If you're an evolution deck, you want to go first almost always. So, okay, got Morpeko in the active. That's good. Okay. Have Lumineon. We'll see what happens, though. Until I have energy in the discard pile, I can't Sada to anything, so not loving life right now, I will say. We may have to Lumineon for Iono, and that's a real hope situation. And, of course, the Iono might even be prized. Right now, I'd have no way to know what's in deck. We'll see what I draw, obviously. I actually have Earthen Vessel, so I can look in the deck, so I can discard with Earthen Vessel an energy, put 2 energies into hand. If I get my ancient Pokemon, my Rangmoon EX, I can accelerate. I could use Professor Sada's Vitality, which would be good. So they're attaching an energy. So Gardevoir with Zacian V. Okay, which is fine. All right, Battle VIP Pass is very, very nice. All right, I'm going to use this first. So do I want... okay, so live is bugged. So I can't pick the Roaring Moon. That's bad news. Okay, that's very bad news, right? Very bad news for me. Okay, I'll get those down. I wanted a Roaring Moon there. You know I did. That's really, really horrible. Really horrible. Okay, so ditch the energy. Let me grab 2. I don't want to Sada's now. I can't do anything with it. So I'm going to use Radiant Greninja because I'd like to get my Ancient onto the bench, which should have happened that turn, right? It should have happened. All right, so I will... Actually, okay, this is good, though, right? So what else do I want to... So I can accelerate, I can attach. I need a 3rd energy. I'm going to get rid of the Cross Switcher because Cross Switcher would be awesome here. Would be awesome. Hopefully I can select it. I can get the Roaring Moon this turn, so that makes me very, very happy. So do I want to Professor Sada's Vitality this turn, right? That's one of those big questions I have, and I'm not sure the answer. Yeah, I think I want a Sada's and then Lumineon V. Let me make that play. It gets me the energy. I want another Cross Switcher. That's what I want. If I hit a second Cross Switcher now, life is really good, right? I need to get 2 in hand, so this might be the most likely turn to get the Cross Switcher. I missed it, though. Okay, Battle VIP Pass. Let's see, can I get... actually, maybe I want to get the Darkrai down anyway, right? I'm going to toss down the Darkrai. I have the V-Star. So, okay. So do I Earthen Vessel? I'm going to Trekking Shoes. Oh, that is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm going to blow up. So I've now, this turn 1 has come together exactly as wanted. I haven't used my Squawkabilly yet, so this is a super turn. See if I even get the attack or if my opponent concedes, because this is... Okay, that's okay. There's no stadium, so I'm going to have to damage myself, which, But hey, I'm taking out their 2 prizers, so that's okay, right? And which already has an energy onto it, so that's okay. right? I mean, if they knock out my 2-prizer, we're tied in prizes. Okay, I have another Roaring Moon to get into play. I have a Sada's Vitality to accelerate to it. Obviously, by getting the Darkrai V, if I get evolved to the V-Star, I can get 2 items, which gives me Cross Switcher if I choose that, or a Dark Patch. So anyway, so that was a great turn. See what happens. Let me say, does the Mew knock me out? I think it does. Mew actually knocks me out now, so that's kind of rough. But you know what? I might, I can actually knock them out with my Morpeko. If they send up the Mew, if they attack with Mew, okay. I mean, I thought the Mew, I don't know if that was the game, right? They took a while there, so that might have been just the game sending that up. I would think the Mew take out my Roaring Moon. They catch up on prizes, and they'd have a chance. I would think I'd hit into the, I would then attack. I could still take out the Ralts with the Morpeko too. I mean, I could take him out with the Roaring Moon as well. I think my opponent quit though. I think that turn 1 of my deck my opponent just gave up on the game. Probably. I mean, they might have desynced too. You never know. But that was a great turn 1, of course, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So I will. Okay, I'm going to. I want to do here. I would like to get. All right, I'm going to discard 1 energy. I'd like another. Okay, I got the Dark Patch. That's what I needed. Take the knockout. Attach my energy. I'm not going to use the Sadas at this point. Doesn't seem to make sense, really, right? Do the switch. I heal a little damage as well. And I do 70. And I will slide the energies onto Darkrai. So that's quite nice. And they're weak to me, so I do 140, which is good. Some of their darks are weak to me, some are not. All right, so take a prize there. If they knock me out, again, I don't know if they're playing. We'll see. If they're not playing, they will. The game will give them an auto loss this turn, I believe. But we will see what happens. If they knock me out, I send up the Roaring Moon, which can blow up whatever. Since I healed myself, I obviously am in very bad shape. But now because of that 30 healing, I don't knock myself out if I take a knockout again with the Roaring Moon. So that's very nice. We'll see what happens. I can retreat to the bench, and we'll see what happens. And I can use Switch Cart to heal another 30. I think my opponent's conceded. So, okay, so I'm just going to attack at this point. So I'm just going to retreat here into you. I'm just going to blow you up for game, right? I could have switched and done some healing if I felt I needed to. I could have attacked with Darkrai. Darkrai may have been the attack if the game was going to continue. Obviously, the game was ending at that point, so could have tried to Sadas to try to get a Dark Patch to get another energy onto the Morpeko again to attack with a single prize. I had some options there, but obviously the game was won, so made it quick. So the deck did its thing. I know my opponent, I think, quit playing, but that turn 1 was awesome. And there we go. Get some fireworks to celebrate a new year, leveling up. And, this is where we see these level up rewards in terms of the economy. Not very good. I got 50 coins strictly for cosmetics. And 50 is even not that much. It's very nominal, right? It takes a long time to level up, and you don't get much for it. But anyway, the deck did its job nicely. All right, let's see what happens here. Hopefully we get a good game. We'll go second if we get the chance. The last game, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to upload, the deck just smashed my opponent turn 1 with the attack, knocking out a a Zacian V. It was a 2-prizer. I was trying to remember which 2-prizer it was. So that is exactly what the deck wants to do. Take 2 prizes on turn 1, and you're in great, great shape. And all right, that's not good. Obviously, I don't ever want to start Lumineon, but it is what it is. So, not the start I wanted. Going second, so things could be worse. So I got to discard the energy, Sada onto a Roaring Moon EX and hope. See what I draw. See what I top deck, of course. So a Dark Patch, which is good. So I can get 2 energies on. I will ditch the Crossceiver. So it gives me access to, yeah, because I probably want to cross. Okay, so I need Roaring Moon. Okay. I will Sada to it because I need to draw to get, I need something with the draw, right? Okay, so they, all right, I have Squawk and Seize. Squawkabilly is good here. Unfortunately, I can't use my Dark Patch. That part's a bummer. But, all right, so what do I want to get down here? Oh, yeah, I can use that. I'll get Radiant Greninja. And what else do I want to get down here? I'll toss down another Roaring Moon in case I... No, I already used Sada's, right? Yeah, I used Sada's. That was probably a mistake. So discard. I accelerate to my Roaring Moon with Dark Patch. I may have the Donk. We'll see. I don't want to attach energy because I need to accelerate energy. I need to get, because I need a switch as well. Now, it's possible I get a Switch Cart, but not an energy, in which case I'm very sad about things. All right, so I'm going to Pokestop, see what I get here. If I get a switching card, if I get, so what I have 2 energies in the discard, so I need a, I'm going to grab, I'm going to keep the Cross Switcher. If Cross Switcher gives me game as well. So just thinning the deck here, quite frankly, is what I'm doing. I'm going to toss down Morpeko. I'm not even going to put him down because I don't need to. I just need a switching card. I always grab the Trekking Shoes. Dark Patch, yes. Okay, so that gives me what I need. So now I have game. Because now I attach here. I attach and hard retreat. And there we go. So, so taking these knockout, and obviously my opponent bricked. So, but, so I'll just do 100 damage. Just do the thing that, obviously in a game like this, I might have, if it was going to go on, I might have ditched the stadium. The question becomes with the stadium, I like to keep the stadium and play for myself, but how much would the stadium help my opponent or not? That would have been the decision, of course, there, right? And of course, I could have knocked out a bigger HP Pokemon with Roaring Moon. So, once again, just, okay. So it was a Lost Zone Giratina deck, which I beat back-to-back times. Very nice there. And for this deck. So the deck set up and did its thing turn 1 once again. All right, let's see what happens here. Again, this deck has been going very nicely turn 1 for me. So I will, on the coin flip, I go second. So do you want to go first? Got to say no. I partly say it out loud because I need to remind myself about that, I will say. I'm just used to going first. Right, first, okay, so that's not great. It's not terrible. Okay, so I can Sada's Vitality. Obviously, Morpeko to start is optimal because it's got free retreat. But can get a Roaring Moon in play, can get energy in the discard pile. It's not terrible. Not terrible at all. So use Earthen Vessel, discard an energy with that, I think. Then discard an energy with the Ultra Ball plus 1 other card. depending what the situation. If it's looking like a hard donk type game or a big knockout that I need to pull off, I would probably discard the Super Rod. All right, so okay, they chose to, no, I won the cost, right? I chose to go second. So they did not choose to go first. And they got the same deck box. They got the same sleeves as me, so liking that. Okay, they tossed Pokestop. They might have it in hand. They probably figure I play it. Okay, so they're playing Pokestop, so that is nice, right? So I probably will Pokestop first, because I discard, depending what I get, right? I could use the rod still, see what happens. You know, if I'm really lucky, okay. So they play the tool. I don't play the tool, right? The tool is obviously very nice. Ancient Booster Energy Capsule gets plus 60 HP. Is a big part of it. Okay, so I will use the tool first. Okay, got Battle VIP Pass. That's very nice. I think I want to put Radiant Greninja back in the deck, actually, right? That's part of what I'm thinking. Just get a little draw there. Yeah, so what do I want to get? Radiant Greninja. I need to Squawk and Seize this turn, too. Should I do that? Should I Squawk and Seize? Maybe I should get Squawkabilly and just really go for it with that. I think I'm going to grab Squawkabilly. I need, I have the chance for the donk, so I've got to go for the hard donk. So I'm going to, I can Lost Zone something as well, right? Well, I want to use this, so I'm going to discard you. I think I'm going to discard here, right? So I'm going to get down a Roaring Moon. I guess I attach manually, right? Because I can't retreat for free. So let me. Do I want to get? Yeah, I think I want to get 2 more energies of the discard pile off the Squawkabilly. We'll attach. I will Squawk and Seize. And we'll see what we get into. All right, have the Switch card. Have I don't right now. I don't have the other energy. I need a Dark Patch. Okay, I need to hit Dark Patch here, and I have everything I need. So I missed the Dark Patch, which is sad. Makes me sad. Okay, so I think I'll send up the Morpeko just to protect myself. And I have the donk next turn, and unfortunately I missed out, so I will just end turn there, right? Look, I have a good hand for next turn. I have energy, right? I have 3 energies in the discard pile. I have free retreat on the active. I have Darkrai VSTAR in hand, so this is a nice hand, for sure. Yeah, I just needed to. I didn't have the way to get the third Pokemon in play. Anyway, my opponent, they bricked, as you can see. But look, that's 3 in a row with this deck. You could see how I missed the turn 1 donk there, but it was very close to it, right? So look, it's a scary deck because it's power turn 1, right? Roaring Moon. I will say from playing it some that the Cross Switcher wasn't getting a ton of value out of it, so maybe that doesn't make the deck better. Look, first I just wanted to play it because I haven't played it before, I don't think. If I have, it's not been much. So, it's not bad in the deck. Obviously, there's some logic to it. I'm not sure it makes it better, but hey, that Roaring Moon, being able to attack turn 1, or even missing it, but knowing that, they were in trouble next turn, right? And obviously that last game, and they had bricks, so they knew I was going to blow them up next turn, or at least probably, right? It wasn't guaranteed to win. That, they didn't know I had game in hand, but they certainly suspected it. So anyway, Roaring Moon, a strong deck. this is a pretty good list. I do like the 1/1 Darkrai in the list, and the only question is Crossceiver is a questionable card. I would say you could drop it. I got to think through what you'd put in. Maybe some more Nest Balls. There's some other cards I've seen. I just can't remember off the top of my head for these decks. Energy Switch goes in some of these decks as well. So if you drop Cross Switcher, you probably want to stick with most of the items and just, probably picks up the deck a little bit. It's a lot of fun with this deck. It's a solid deck, and hey, it's enjoyable, and it's really enjoyable taking big knockouts turn one. Give it a try. Take care.